trailer we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about a trailer that has me fucking excited. Is Tenet from Christopher Nolan. Now we talked about the first trailer that came out a while back, and now we're getting a more inclusive trailer, a more full trailer this go around. One that we see John David Washington. We see a little bit more about his character. But for those who don't know, Tenet, and this is no shit. I got this directly from Wikipedia, but I found it hilarious. This is the description of the film. Armed with only one word, Tenet, and fighting for the survival of the entire world, the protagonist journeys through a twilight world of international espionage on a mission that will unfold in something beyond real time, not time travel, inversion. And I found that description hilarious because it tells us absolutely jack shit about it. Literally doesn't even give the dude a name. It just says the protagonist.
Like you could have went to IMDb and found out that John David Washington is the protagonist. Very lazy description.
Not lazy. I think it's just on purpose. It's Christopher Nolan to a T. Like, don't give us a goddamn thing. Just give us the bare minimum. But yeah, Christopher Nolan is directing this. He wrote it as well. It stars John David Washington, Robert Pattinson, Elizabeth Debicki. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, and Aaron Taylor Johnson, and is due out for now on July 17th in theaters. And so if you got the chance to watch this second trailer, what did you think about it?
I thought this second trailer was phenomenal. I mean, like the first teaser trailer that they released, I thought that gave us a lot of like really interesting like conceptual information in terms of like what this movie is possibly about, right? Like the different realities and how time is not what you think it is at all times, right? Again, this trailer gave us a little bit more about John David Washington's character and like the type of mission that they may be on, and just really cool action sequences and visuals. I was already sold on this movie. This trailer sold me even more. What I'm hoping is that they do not release a third trailer. We've had the 3 trailer setup for quite some time with like a lot of the bigger, more recent films. Given that this movie is due out in July, I think what we have here is enough. I would hate to see another trailer or like 2 more trailers. And I hope this releases in theaters. I don't know if I'll be there, but maybe if like I find out that the trailer that I'm or the theater near me has like some type of special shit that they're doing to make sure I don't fucking die, maybe then I'll go see this in theaters. But one way or another, I'm going to see this movie.
Yeah. So I thought this trailer was interesting. It did 2 things that I actually didn't like. For one, it gave, I think, too much of the plot away. Like at this point, like, dude, like the movie's like a month away, but I guess I understand the wanting to do that because it's like, if you can't just tell people to go see a movie that they don't know anything about, like, I don't care if you're Christopher Nolan or not, like if, and especially if there's no other movies, you want this to be sort of like the thing that brings people back to the movies. Well, you need to attract like the broadest audience, and you're not going to do that with something that like nobody knows what the fuck it's about, right? Like people aren't going to risk their lives for shit that's like, I mean, I don't even know how to even describe the movie. People love basically simple shit, at least in order to appeal to everybody, and so I think this gave away too much for me, but I understand the reason why they did it. But then also too, I love Christopher Nolan, and he's my favorite director working right now. And so I hesitate to say this, but I think it has to be said. I don't think this is the movie that should be the first one coming back. I think if it was like, I think Wonder Woman would be better suited for this. I think even Black Widow would be better suited for this, because this seems like perhaps his most complicated film yet. And I don't think this is going to drive people out to go see it. Like, I think your your diehard moviegoers will 100% go and see this. I think I've already settled on. I definitely am going to have to go see this because of that we do a movie podcast. I would not be doing my due diligence if this once in a lifetime sort of, or hopefully this once in a lifetime experience of the theater shutting down and and then this is the movie that sort of welcomes us back. I'm definitely going to go see it. But I don't think that the mass audiences are going to be able to go or are going to want to go see this movie because it seems like it's going to be really, really complicated. Like people still have a hard time understanding Inception, and it's been 10 years since that movie came out. And so I don't know. I just don't. I don't know if this is the right one, to get back to theaters. But it's what it's not the. It may not be the movie we wanted to welcome us back to the theaters, but it's the one we're going to have. So,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
You know what? And I do want to move on to the next trailer here, but you bring up a good point, man. Like this movie may be a bit too cognitive. It may require a bit too much thinking for being like the first theatrical release or film release in theaters. During this whole like coronavirus pandemic. If there's one thing we know about Americans is that they do not like to think for themselves, right? And this movie is going to require a lot of thought. It's surprising, like when I read the comments in the comment section on Instagram about like a movie like this or a movie like Inception, people, to your point, years later still don't get Inception. And I'm like, you've had 10 years to figure it out. Tenet, the concept of the film is not entirely new. I think it's just like, obviously it's dealing with like time and the possibilities of different flows of time or different sequences of time at multiple times or sequences happening at the same time. Right?
Yeah. See, you even trying to describe it makes you sound stupid. Like,
but it makes sense.
Time and
like at one time there could be like 3 different sequences of time happening, or so on and so on. Right?
Wait, you're talking about what movie are you talking about? Inception?
No, I'm just talking about like what a setup for a movie like Tenet may be. It may be.
Tenet.
It may deal with the reality that at a given time there could be 3 different sequences of time happening. Something along those lines, right? It's really not the most like complicated thing, and it looks like a great film. Like the action looks great, the actors in this film looks great. But I've saw a lot of comments online about people saying like, "Well, I didn't get the trailer. I'm not going to see the movie." What the fuck is the point of seeing the movie if you understand the entire film from the trailer? Like, where is your sense of curiosity? When I watch a trailer for a movie, I want to be entertained a little bit. I want to understand a little bit of what's going on. I don't want to know the rest. Like, give me enough to excite me and entertain me and intrigue me, and then I'll go to the theater to see the rest. There are a lot of people who want to understand everything about the film in the trailer. I don't get that. Makes no sense.
Well, but and this is the last thing I'll say about it is the problem with this particular movie is that like you want to get like basically everybody out to the theaters again, because for one, it's going to have to be really limited seating, right? Like they can't just be like, all right, everybody sit next to each other and it's fine. No, they're going to have to like space people out. And so that means that you're not going to be able to see this, like maybe unless you buy your tickets like dumb early, like you're not going to be able to see it like the first night, maybe even not even the second night. So the problem is like, if you're trying to get like families out, like a family isn't going to go out and see Tenet. Like that's just like, the kid's not going to be sitting there like, what do you think about the practicalities of time travel? No, like it's not going to happen, So, that's my only argument. Again, as a Christopher Nolan fan, and I know there's, that fanboys like clicking away right now, like, fuck you, man, Tenet's gonna be awesome, you wait and see. Like, that's not even what I'm saying. Like, I'm sure it's gonna be like a dope movie that I'll appreciate, but I just don't think to the masses it's going to, resonate. Because it's going to be a really complicated movie. I think it might be a dope, cool movie, but it's going to be complicated. And so I just don't know if this is the right one to open things up with, if you're trying to get everybody back out as like a rallying cry, for the theater industry. But in any event, what is the saying? We persist. Is that the thing?
Yeah.
Like the.
I feel like you
Yeah,
ask
all
this
right.
question every time.
I ask that all the fucking time. I I can't tell a lie. I really do.